So all of the nonsense surrounding Cyberpunk 2077 continues. And you know what? The game is actually out now. I've been watching people stream it. It's not out for me yet, but depending on where you live in the world, you might be able to play it and actually stream it. Like, for example, I believe you live in Australia, you're good to go. I was watching Lethal Lightning, who's an Australian YouTuber. He was playing it on his channel. And I got to say, it does look like it's got a lot of bugs in it. Just from watching him play it, his game crashed at least once. And there was some frame rate issues and so on and so on. I think that it might end up being somewhat of a problem. We'll see, though. You know, this could have just been on his end. I don't know. It's tough to say. I'm going to be playing it on my Twitch channel probably tomorrow. Maybe tonight if it comes out. I heard rumors that it might come out at 7, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, Cyberpunk. So here was another thing. Apparently, there's an epilepsy warning, which is strange. It seems like a nitpick because the last time I checked, every single game has an epilepsy warning. Because usually if you're prone to seizures, you probably should be very careful playing video games. But apparently we're just going to make a big deal about that with Cyberpunk. So I don't know what's going on there. This is a thing that's been going on for a long time. I don't know if I'm the only one that knows that or not, but usually games have that somewhere in their terms of service or warning or whatever. But that's not the main topic of this video. We're going to go back to this GameSpot review, the one that I think it's the lowest score, kind of sticks out. Well, TheQuartering actually looked into this and did a video on it, and the writer of this article admitted in an interview that she didn't play large portions of the game. She didn't play a lot of the game and gave it a low score. Shouldn't you play the whole game? I think it was fair criticism. He basically said in the video, do your job. Didn't say anything bad. Didn't say anything harassing. It's just criticism. But of course, criticism is harassment. And we now have a bunch of journalists, gaming, air quotes, journalists, now trying to get him deplatformed. Let's go through a bunch of them because some of them are from GameSpot. We've got people at Kinda Funny. I believe there's an IGN employee. Pretty much a bunch of them. I don't even think I have all of them. So we got one right here. Hey, people like this make this industry a toxic and scary place for women, POC, and other folks in the industry. He has a pattern of harassing folks who are doing their job and are trying to make space for themselves. He misleads for clout. Report him. And it goes on to talk about how hard this review was. Had to work hard for 6 days straight. I got to tell you, man, I've done some back-breaking work in my time. Playing a video game for 6 days straight is nowhere near as hard as maybe roofing a house. Maybe you're working a construction job. Maybe you work in a factory. Okay, that's hard work. Playing a video game is pretty easy compared to that. Game journalists, man, they're always crying about something, I got to tell you. But here's the thing. See all these terms that are being thrown in there? He didn't say anything nasty about anybody in this video. I watched it. Okay, but what's going on here? Gaming journalists have been getting about zero respect for the past couple of years, and they've done it to themselves by being politically active, mocking gamers, going after gamers, calling gamers toxic, calling men toxic men, saying that they need to change and all this stuff. They've been doing this for a while, and that's because most of them all live in California. Just about all of them are in California or New York City. Okay? And keep in mind, listen, don't go bother anybody in this video. Don't go bother anybody in this video. That's just something I want to throw out there. But here's Greg Miller, former IGN employee, works at Kinda Funny as well. I think he's the owner of Kinda Funny. He doesn't call out TheQuartering in this tweet, but he kind of is, because this is what he's talking about. He's talking about the woman who wrote that article. This is the kind of stuff right here. Biden, Harris, really? You know, in your profile picture. So automatically, you're turning off a bunch of fans. Okay, fans that are on different sides of the aisle. You're saying you don't want. In fact, I did a video on that. One of his buddies, the other co-owner of Kind of Funny, he basically said he doesn't want you as a fan. He doesn't want you as a fan if you don't vote the same way as him. He doesn't want you. Then we got another one here. Jeremy found this one. Another GameSpot editor. Being a games journalist in 2020 has had us dealing with significant hatred from an irrational audience. TheQuartering is an instigator, and he's been responsible for bringing that ire to people like Kaylee for years. From the depths of my soul, F you, dude. Please report him. Okay, then we have another one. This loser spends his days tearing down others to compensate for his inability to create anything meaningful to put out into the world. We have to watch him bring undue mental harm to people that are our peers and friends, people that are just doing their job. Please report him. We got another one, and this guy actually tagged this man, who is the head of gaming at YouTube. Now, I don't know what kind of poll he has at YouTube, but this is the second time I've seen people do this to Jeremy. They were doing it last week with the content creator Zombie Kills, the stuff that was going around that. You can look into that if you want to, but they were tagging him last week, and he actually said, I'll look into this. I don't know if anything's going to happen from that, but I'm just saying they're kind of doubling down on their efforts with that stuff. So this guy says, hey, Fwiz, you've got power at YouTube Gaming. TheQuartering is using his YouTube to harass women over a game review score. He's done this stuff before. He's also lying. Use your power to stop it. Now, Quartering has a huge channel. Okay, I'm pretty sure he's going to get he's going to go over 1 million subs today. I think that's pretty cool. It's a lot. That's a pretty big milestone. But he hasn't done anything like they're saying, okay? The woman who wrote that article admitted in an interview that she didn't play large portions of the game, okay? And all week, we've been hearing about how they don't want to play the game. I believe Sophie Narwitz posted a big collage of that on her Twitter page. Showed a bunch of tweets about how they're complaining they're going to have to play 60 hours over the weekend to catch up with the embargo. I mean, you could always put the review out a little later, but you're rushing to be first. So, I mean, you're kind of doing it to yourself. You don't have to do 60 plus hours, but hey, that's working. That's a job. Working 60 hours in a crunch time, sometimes you just got to do it. It's part of life. It's part of life. But they don't want to work. And I talked about this in my last video where I talked about Cyberpunk. Imagine complaining about a job where you're making a livable wage. Like Kotaku, you make $50K a year, $50,000 to start. Okay? And you've got people right now that aren't working, that unemployment, I'm pretty sure, is super high right now. They want to work, they can't work. Okay? And you're complaining about playing a video game. All right. People lined up at food banks right now can't eat, but you're complaining that you have to play a game. All right. If you're going to review a game, you should do everything in the game to give it a fair review. And I think that is fair criticism, and that's the point of that video that he made. That's not harassment. Okay. Now we have articles like this coming out because people, they don't like being called toxic or trash. So now, because game journalists, are getting a little bit of criticism for pretty much telling gamers they're trash, now we see articles like this coming out. We need to solve the toxicity within video games, bringing up a bunch of stuff with The Last of Us 2, and it's full of lies, because not once in this article do they mention the fact that one of the reasons that people got so upset with Naughty Dog over The Last of Us 2 was the way Joel was treated and all of the strikes that Naughty Dog was issuing to creators. They were silencing people that were criticizing their game for weeks. But the games industry, they never talk about that. They never even covered that, actually. Not one gaming outlet covered Naughty Dog DMCAing creators. What does that tell you? Anyway, I don't think anything's going to happen to TheQuartering. I hope it doesn't. but it's just more stuff. So now they're going to try to target and harass creators with their followers to get reported and try to deplatform them. That's not going to work. That's not going to bring back gamers to you. Why don't you try being nice to gamers and stop telling them that they're toxic trash? And maybe when you do a game review, maybe stick to the game's elements. Don't go into how it's not progressive enough. Maybe then people will start taking your game reviews a little bit more seriously. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think. Also, if you would, please like and subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Don't bother anybody in this that you've seen in this video, please. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.